in Christmas times. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 12. Right, guys, it's the time flies so fast, right? Who would have imagined we're already like almost halfway through to Christmas, right? And today is an amazing day again because we have with us Mr. Patrick Chang of Everyday Tech. Right? So, who would have thought that, we always think of tech as something really difficult, that it's not for all of us or for most of us, that you have to be in IT or something like that to actually be able to appreciate tech. But what Patrick has done is to actually introduce that there are actually a lot of things that we actually need for our everyday life to make things easier for us that we probably might have missed because we think it's too difficult, but actually very easy, especially for everyday people like us. So I really love Everyday Tech's tagline, Everyday Tech for everyday people. All right, so we would love to engage with you all, guys. So please feel free to put your comments or questions or suggestions on Mommy Guide Inc.'s Facebook page or Mommy Guide Inc.'s YouTube channel or even my personal page where we're streaming also right now. Now, our guest is a professional web developer, lover of Christ, a husband, father of two, and someone who just loves technology and loves to play with gadgets. Okay, and he was born and raised in the US and currently lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So it's actually evening for Patrick right now, right? So good evening to Patrick. And again, not the first time, but after, I think this is Patrick's second time on Mommy Guide Inc. All right, let's welcome back in. Hi, Patrick. Everyday Text Patrick Chang. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Lala. How are you?
Yes, it's a great morning for us. It's almost noon. It's 11:05. I know it's 10
Yep, around 10 p.m. So
around 10
this is
p.m.
when
for
I'm
Patrick.
this is when I'm very awake. So don't worry. So
It's a
yeah.
very awake, yes. All right. So Patrick, everybody saying hi to you. There's Sammy. Hey everyone. Thank you, Sammy, for dropping by. And thanks Norman for sharing. And of course, days 12 already said super floop. And everybody watching us right now, please don't be shy and please put your comment or just even say hi in the chat. Okay. So again, Patrick, thank you for coming in. Okay, and
Hmm.
agreeing to come in for Mommy Guiding's Vlogmas. Okay.
Hmm.
So can you tell us briefly? I know we had you on the show prior, but I think that time we asked you to actually craft along with us, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So now we want to focus more on your channel and the kind of content that actually you have right now on YouTube, because it's very relevant and it's very much applicable to a lot of our community members. So, first and foremost, can you tell us briefly how did everyday tech came to be? Like, what made you think that you would focus on this? I know you started out as a vlogger, right?
I did
Earlier
a
on,
few vlogs earlier
yeah, I
on,
did a
yeah,
few
some
vlogs.
personal
Okay.
stuff. And actually let me talk about why I did the vlog first is
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted kind of of what a vlog is kind of like a diary, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted a diary for my kids to see, uh, so they can see how dad was when they were younger, right? And
Oh,
so
that's
then,
nice.
but from there, I just did a lot of talking then, but then I started to make it a production. Actually, I was getting so interested in it. But the way I started Everyday Tech was it's kind of how we met as well, through something called Lita. So it was live every day in, I think at that time it was probably
April.
August,
Was it
because
August?
we
Okay.
when it's well, I'm trying to think when it started. When I started, it was August. I must have done one in April as well,
Yes, yes.
but because I remember it was right in the pandemic, and if it wasn't for the pandemic, I don't think I would have started actually. So it wasn't for lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and being at home, I probably wouldn't have started the channel actually. And I think a lot of people are like that actually. And so one of the prompts on Lita. So if people don't know, we had to go live every day, but on a closed Facebook group, which
Mm-hmm.
was safe for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the prompts was come up what is your next step, and come up with a plan, or come up with an idea, or come up with what you're going to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I just had this idea, well, okay, I'm going to come up with a channel, and and they said, come up, what's your tagline? And all of a sudden, what am I going to talk about? Well, I'm not, no one's going to, Apple's not going to send me free products, I don't think. Well, I hope they do one day, but we'll see. And then,
Yes.
uh, yeah. And so I said, well, I have all this stuff around me. Let me just, this is stuff for everyone that everyone can use. So I said, well, all of a sudden it came out, everyday tech for everyday people. And I just really wanted to focus on all these gadgets that I just had around me, because I love gadgets, and I bought more than I should have, but at the same time, I could talk about them as well. And it's just always interested me. So that's how I got into it. And so it was
Right.
all from Lita, from Live Streaming Pros. So that's
Mhm.
how I started. So
So that was just like about more or less a year ago, right? Like it's April
a
then
little,
August, right?
we're probably coming up on 2 years now
Yeah,
then.
almost. Oh, yeah, almost two. Yeah, you're right. Almost
Yeah,
two
time
on August.
flies. Time flies.
Yes. I feel like it was just like a year ago. Yes, it's almost
Yeah.
2 years ago, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yes, so you started out probably like everybody. You don't were you like really focused on, okay, I know what to do. I will be going live or I will do edited videos. Did you have like that already set up when you were
Yeah,
starting?
yeah. So I think I've always intended to do edited video instead of live streaming. The
Mm-hmm.
live streaming kind of came in a little bit later on because of Lita, but because of other people I met, and mainly John and Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
One John from Coffee Talk and Tech, and then
Mm-hmm.
Jeff. They were
Jay
doing a
Smith.
lot of live streams and weekly live streams, and I was just kind of joining in that community there. But I was always into the recorded content, I think. And my content is what we call evergreen content, in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that if I do a review on a product, I'm not just doing here's what I think about the latest and greatest. I'll do that sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
most of my content is like, let's say, for example, what I have in front of me here. I can switch to here. I have
Mm-hmm.
my monitor, big monitor here, and
Mm-hmm.
then so I did a review on that, and uh, when I get the most traffic from this kind of this particular video of this monitor is when it goes on sale. So it's kind of funny. Different things can cause different. So that means people are searching for it. Uh, so it was a very
Yes.
good niche that I can get into. People aren't reviewing this monitor, so okay, I'm in there. I can fill the gap of what people are looking for as well. So
Yes,
yeah,
and I think you're right. After Lida, we actually like navigated or gravitated towards, the collaboration of John and Jay, right? Weekly. That was
yeah,
so awesome. I actually met a lot of new friends also in the community through their community. So, and Patrick and I
yeah,
were almost always there every week on the chat. So I actually missed that one. So you're right, Patrick, right? So I too gravitated towards your content because of, oh, sometimes when we think of certain gadgets or tech, there's always like a certain brand that comes to mind, right?
hmm,
So but then there are actually other options, right? Sometimes there are more than that. Okay, kind of, okay, it might be like the same technology but maybe of a different brand, or maybe something similar, maybe doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but bottom line is it can do the basic thing that you want, right? And so that's where, I think Patrick wants is, am I right in that case, in that sense
hmm,
that you also want to showcase other stuff that's available that might not have been, done or showcased yet.
yeah. Yeah, and especially in these days where at least in the U.S. and I'm pretty sure all over the world, it's just the economy is unknown, right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's being more cost conscious. So we want to, there's other alternatives out there. It's not like everything is. Although I love Apple products, there are other
Mm-hmm.
products out there too. So like even one of my favorite products is my AirPods here, right?
Uh-huh.
But there are a lot of other earbuds out there, or that's just one example. But there's just a lot of technology out there that work
Mm-hmm.
just as good, and it's just becoming so much better as well these days too. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a
So,
lot of things going on. Yeah,
all right. So thank you so much for that, Patrick. So when you put your content in on your channel, so what makes you okay, I know that you said in the beginning it's basically what's in front of you.
yeah,
Right? Yeah. So
yeah.
okay, you started with that one. Okay. So moving forwards, how do you now prepare for, like, what do you like like prepare for your content for everyday, everyday tech for everyday people? What
Yeah, it was
inspires
funny.
you?
Yeah, it's funny. In the beginning, I thought I was going to run out of things to talk about. So I would have a list of things, and I started getting into Notion, and I have a list of things that I can put into Notion. Even the topic of Notion, I did a couple of topics on Notion there. And so, so it's a combination of things. Number one, whatever I'm very motivated to do that week or inspired to do that week, then that's always a motivation for me. I've had a hard time just going in the past month trying to do videos more often, more regularly, but I'm starting to get back into it. So I want to do the things that interest me a lot. And then I mentioned to you the before, I'm starting to get a few companies sending me a few sample gadgets to review.
Yay!
So I want to do, make those priority as well. Maybe I could show one here. This is
Mm.
a Wi-Fi smoke alarm. It's hard to see in
Oh,
the light. I did a video
nice.
on this before with this company,
Mm.
and I guess they liked what I did, so they sent me a different one. And so these kind of
Wow, you
little
didn't even
products.
ask them, right? This were like they sent you these products to review. When
Yeah.
that happens, Patrick, do
Hmm.
you have like the responsibility to, or they give you like freedom to, okay, just use it and tell them as it is what you feel about the product.
Yeah. Well, I'm very upfront and tell them that
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to release the video before they see it. And so they don't get any review on it. And I tell them before they send me anything. So I just want to make sure they're okay with it. And then there are a lot of companies out there and that would tell you, okay, we want to send you this, but you need to buy it first, and then we'll refund you after you do your review. And so I absolutely do not take those as well because of course it's against I think Amazon's policy, especially if you buy it through Amazon and they want those kind of reviews. But at the same time, some companies say, "Can you have this up in within 2 or 3 weeks?" And if I can meet that deadline, then I'll do it. And but most of the time, they don't give me any deadline. There's no expectations. I tell them if I run into any problems or if I have any questions, I'll go to them first before I put it on video. But other than that, there's no review. There's no review process before from the company. They're very open about it, and
Wow. That's
yeah.
great. So
So
I think one advice, Patrick, would be that we can get from you is that to actually tell the companies who would want to collaborate with you, um,
yeah,
your policies as well, like your personal policies about doing the reviews. So we've because we thought probably most people doesn't even know that they can actually say that uh, you can say what you
yeah,
want. They probably think
yeah,
that you should only say good things about the product, but you can actually
yeah,
tell them that yes, I can, but I have to be very upfront of what I think about it. And then that's nice also. I didn't know about, that they sometimes they ask you to pay and then they'll
yeah,
refund you. Wow.
yeah,
Okay, so again, this
yeah.
came about Patrick because actually Patrick, okay, from he started from like everybody else, from no subscribers at all, but he continued to just put content out there. There were many times, right, Patrick, and there were seasons. As a father, as a husband, and you have a full time job.
Hmm.
Life does happen, right? And there are times
Oh
that
yeah.
you aren't really able to come up with content or go live or even both, right? But
Hmm.
that didn't stop you from, trying to go back and push on. And that's
Yeah.
why I think, was it earlier this year that you
That's
reached the
yeah.
earlier
It
this
was
year?
in. You're talking about when I reach 1K
YPP.
subscriber.
Yes. So when
Yeah.
he reached
Uh.
the YouTube partner program, it was earlier
Yeah.
this year, right?
It was in
Okay.
March,
Oh, March. There you go.
and it was a lot to thanks to you to push
Oh
me
no,
over the
no, not
top. Oh
no,
yeah.
because Patrick, what we really love about, as Patrick said, he does mostly edited videos, right? And because his edited videos really continues to grow to date, as he said, his content is evergreen. So maybe for those who want to start also on YouTube, you could think of creating something like evergreen content. That means that it's something that can be useful to anybody who wants to talk to research about a certain product, right? So even if that product is probably no longer famous in the market, some people might still want to learn how to use this, or what do you think of this. So and then they actually see Patrick's videos about some videos of his, and that started his growth. So he didn't do tons and tons of live streams like I did,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
we are both content creators, but the way I did it is like I really had to do a lot of live streams. But with Patrick, he did focus on edited videos, but those videos were really really good, right? So there are many ways, Patrick, right, to come to actually get into the YPP, right? So
Yeah.
just be see what works for you, right? What worked for
Hmm.
Patrick or what worked for me doesn't mean that it's gonna be the same for you, right? So
Yeah.
check where you are most comfortable with, right? And I also like how Patrick did it. Like in the beginning, we were all, I think, under somehow for a while, and we all had gas syndrome, like gear acquisition syndrome in the beginning, right? But then
Hmm.
eventually, I saw how Patrick said, "No, I'm not gonna pay for this. I'm just gonna use free stuff. I don't want to be spending and buying all of this stuff when there's an alternative." But maybe you can, like, share about that, period or season in your content creation journey. How did you, like, decide to, okay, no more buying, no more, paying unnecessary fees for, your content creation?
I will say, to be honest, one thing was, we were we were trying to save money, so that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing. So sometimes you're forced into it, and then so that's why I wanted to come with alternative things. The other thing is, I just kind of nothing. Maybe I was into gadgets so much that after a while, well, not so much is exciting as much. So coming up with like a new iPhone or something, it's not that exciting anymore, right? Like, they're really just improving it year by year. So this is like an iPhone 12, but I think I'll be happy with the iPhone 10 or 11. Like I don't need the 13 or 14, the latest and greatest yet. So I've just been more patient with my gadgets, and then I'm realizing, oh, there's just so many things. I have so many other. I'm getting into more other interests as well, including some crafting stuff as well. I'm doing some woodworking now. I have a laser engraver. I was doing like coasters and stuff during the pandemic as well to send to people. So there's like other interests there, and so uh, it doesn't mean I wasn't, and I haven't been. I've always acquiring a lot of gear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm buying more gear than I should, but I am, getting better at just being happy with what I have, and then also realizing that you can really do go a lot of way, very far with what you already have as well. So when we're talking about like live streaming, video editing, all these things, you can really do a lot with what you have. Even if you just have a phone, just start with your phone, and just learn to improve on things, and where you want to improve, where you're lacking. So sometimes we try to buy everything, and we say, okay, but that wasn't really the issue. I needed
Mm-hmm.
to improve on my audio, so I got a microphone later on, but that was later on, and so I would say, don't try to do everything at once. Work on the most important thing, which is find your niche, find your interest. Work on the content. Content is always king first. Always is always the top priority, and then worry about the gear later. But you know what? The gear does matter as well to a certain extent. But I would
Mm-hmm.
say, just take things slowly. So you don't have to do everything at once, is what I would say as well. So,
There
yeah.
you go. So thank you so much for sharing that part of, because we actually need to see to hear that, even no not even for those who are in the crafting community like me. Okay, so we there's
Hmm.
always something that, shiny new toy every month, especially this Christmas season, and then you end up, when you have so much stuff, your next problem would be, how do you store them? Okay,
Yeah.
and then after that is, where do you store it? You
Hmm.
only have like a very limited space, right? Eventually, you'll get your room filled with stuff, and what do you do with them, right? So that's why
Yeah.
Tina in the chat is saying, "Oh, I like that. No more buying unnecessary fees for content creation." Right? So again, right, Patrick knows that he is quite versed with, tech, and he can actually navigate OBS quite well. So he used OBS, right? So that's just one of the many things that, and then for us crafters, maybe you have like a million different kinds of paper. So realize which ones you actually really like creating with, and then the others you either sell or you give away. I mean, that process of, trying to actually make sense with all the stuff that I have, right? So Patrick, we have Janet. Hi Janet. Okay, we also met her through Lida. Hi everyone. This is that Janet of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing. That's my good friend Janet. And Jason, good morning. And Miss Wims. Again, thank you, Sir Norman. Okay. Oh, Patrick's crafting now. Oh, he has always been baby. Superfood is actually my daughter. Remember when
Yes, I,
we had him? He showed us this. Is that a CNC? What do you call that machine that you
it's
actually
similar to a CNC. It's a laser engraver or a laser.
laser
So if
engraver?
I get a more powerful laser, you can do cutting as well. But it's mostly for
Wow,
engraving things.
engraving.
So,
Oh,
for example, I
I
have
want
like a little
that.
coaster here.
Yeah,
Um,
see?
does it focus? There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
I
made of
just
wood,
bought these on.
Patrick?
This is cork. So this is from IKEA, and then I just put my little logo on here and little design, and it was
Wow.
really easy. So yeah.
Yeah, but the machine is very expensive. There's one right now being sold. It's like maybe a half, maybe a quarter of a amount of a car. So I have to really
Well,
think about it.
again, we talked about like so it depends on your comfortable how
Uh-huh.
comfortable you are. So for example, there's a company that sells it for like what you're talking about, a quarter of a car, right? I would say I'll tell you up front that the machine that I got was about $200 or less, and then but it
What?
came very bare bones. So I had to
Ah.
build like the case around it. I had to build everything around it. I can only do it in my garage because it smells when you burn things.
Mm,
um,
okay.
what you're paying for those couple $1,000 machines, or okay, more the couple $1,000 is cheap for those machines that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
What they're talking about is you can do it indoors because they have all the exhausts,
Oh
uh,
yeah, I saw it
accessories.
came. Yeah, it came with that thing that sucks out all the probably what do you call that? The
The
shavings from
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
whatever
wood.
you're burning, yeah. So wood or
Yes.
cork or
Mm-mm.
even metal. Sometimes you can
Mm-mm.
engrave metal, or even the paper burns a little bit. But
Yes.
so again, it depends on your comfort level, and then there are alternatives for everything, like we were talking about as far as tech is concerned. But of
Yes.
course, it does require a lot more work. So I don't just because I'm not paying for a lot of things, such as like Ecamm or some of the other things, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean it's not the right tool for everyone else. So you need to really figure out what tools will work for you. And I love Ecamm, and that's why I did pay
Yes.
for it for a little bit. But
Yes.
um, yeah, so you need to
Exactly,
find
right?
the
If
right tool for you. Yeah.
exactly. So if again you can actually navigate other, options for live streaming or for whatever it is that you plan to do, then
Hmm.
try it on and which one resonates with you and you're passionate about, right? So Patrick,
Yeah.
actually Tina is joining us in the mall. She's doing errands, walking
Oh
inside the
wow.
mall. Okay, but she's not buying, she said she's paying. Okay, so she's doing errands. Thank you so much, Tina, for being in the chat still. So this year, Patrick, you created a lot of or you featured a lot of everyday tech for everyday people like specifically like me, all right? So because as you've heard me say, Patrick is really he's a web developer, so he's really on the IT side. So tech is something a little bit easy for him when it comes to trying to unpack all those things and understand. Okay, but you featured several in the past 2 years, actually almost 2 years. So
Hmm.
amongst those that you have featured thus far, which do you think would for everyday people like us is like most would resonate most, so that we could probably go and check those out?
Yeah, I would say the different things like because you need to see what everyone could talk about different like cameras or different things
Mm-hmm.
or more expensive microphones, and that's their community and the audience they're trying to reach. I'm just trying to reach a more broader audience of
Mm-hmm.
people who aren't always into tech, so you need to find things that are relevant to you. So for example, I have a Apple Watch, which I just did a review on. But my favorite accessory to it would be something like this. This is like a battery. This is a portable battery charger, that you can take with you. So things that charge your gadgets, those are a lot of interesting tech to me, that that would apply to everyone else. Another thing is, let's say, my favorite piece, one of my favorite pieces of gadgets. It's kind of funny.
Mhm.
Is this thing? Do you know what this thing is?
Is it a blower?
It is, and so this is like really cheap on Amazon, and you could find a lot of these. But um,
So it's just
it
air. Is it
it's
hot
just
air?
air.
Regular air?
No,
Oh.
it just blows air, and your desk can get very dusty. Um, your keyboard can get very dusty in between, right? And
That's
so this is
great.
just one little piece of tech that I think you would love to have. Once you have it, you're like, oh wow, uh, I can
Do you
clean
have
out
an
my,
Amazon shop we can go to? Have you
I
started?
don't, but I did. I mean, if you look at some of my videos, especially the one I did on small tech,
Uh-huh.
I do have a lot of these things on there, which is a good idea. I should start a page as far as maybe
Yes.
like a kit.co page with all my.
Mm.
I do have my on my channel on all my videos a link to my Notion uh, tech inventory that I use for all my
Oh, that's
videos. So you could
nice.
check that out as well. Yeah,
So
but
it's
yeah,
something that we can actually look for and check it out, right?
yes, yes, yeah. I should put. Yeah, I don't know if I have all the small gadgets on there, but I'm gonna make sure they're all on there as well. So, um,
Okay, so these are just some of the interesting, okay? It doesn't have to be expensive or, over the top, this and that. But again, as Patrick said, these are things that, we can actually use for every day. We didn't even think about, oh, yeah, actually, it can, right? So Tina is asking, she already found a use for that tool that you just showed us. How many watts is that? We can make use of that for alcohol inking because lately we've been into
mm.
alcohol inking, so we need something to like let the ink move. And so what we were using was this tool, Patrick,
hmm.
like for markers, and then others use the one for camera to clean the lenses.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, but sometimes, but see, it's tedious because you have to do this. So with
yeah,
that, maybe just shh. And then another is a blower, hair blower or hair dryer. So I think
yeah.
that's a nice. So Tina said that might be a nice
And you
option.
could probably put some kind of make your own little bit because this is pretty thick inside, or
Uh
a
huh.
little bit bigger maybe. So you can make it thinner if you want to make it more like precise. But yeah,
Yeah, maybe pinch
there's a
it a
lot of
little
different
bit,
things.
something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah,
Okay. So there may be other functions of tools or gadgets that are actually not meant to be. Maybe you can have a
yeah,
segment like that in the future, right? This is what it's
yeah.
made for, but you can actually use it
This
for
is what
this, for this,
exactly.
for this,
Yeah,
right? So, especially if you have
maybe.
applications for crafters, oh, we would love, 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 love to hear
Oh,
more about
okay.
that,
And I'm always
right?
open for ideas, so don't worry.
Yes. So thank
Yeah,
you guys. So guys, if you also want to know about, there's a tech or a piece of gadget or something that you are interested and you probably don't know how to use it, okay, or we would want to know, okay, and then let's message Patrick, and maybe he can, they're not sure if he can actually get a hold of that actual gadget, but maybe he can also help you research about it, or even it can be a part of his future content. Speaking of future content, Patrick, what
hmm.
is in store for everyday tech in the coming year, 2023?
So I have a long list of things. Again, I never thought I would have so many things to talk about, but uh, I am going to talk still a lot about the different. Uh, I am very much into Apple, so I will talk about different things as far as relates to the iPad or using my Mac. So I'll continue to do those. But again, I mentioned that a few companies have sent me products. I mentioned about this Wi-Fi alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Another is another. How do I say it? Of There's a vlogging kit that companies that sending me something. I'm really into these little computers called Raspberry Pis. You can
Mm-hmm.
do different things with them, so I'm going to do a lot more videos on that. And then I have some other products like a security camera that another company sent me. So uh, I am actually going to probably install that at the church I meet at, and so it'll be a good use there and good way for me to test it out. So making good use of those things, and then I'm trying to get into a little bit more shorts. So a lot of sometimes some products or some things I want to talk about don't require a long video, so I might just do a very short 30 to 60-second video on that, and
Oh,
then of course,
interesting. Very nice.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're
So
looking
we'll.
forward to that because our community is actually also like into the shorts right now. We're all trying out shorts and we're seeing how it's immensely, very useful and helpful in
Yeah.
actually helping reach more people in terms of, subscriber counts and all of those things. So that's great to know about, Patrick. Yes. And then Tina is saying, I watched your EV video. I wish I had more. I wish you had more of, we have more of that here in Manila. Tina is one of my dear crafty sisters. I know you've seen her, and
Hmm.
she is really somebody who's very much into tech. Whenever I have like an issue, I can't do this, I can't do that. Okay, she'll just Google, or she's gonna find it on YouTube or something, and eventually she will have an answer for me, right? So actually, Tina, you can actually even do tech. You might want to collaborate with Patrick and others in our community, right? So,
Hmm.
okay, so that's very interesting. So more shorts, okay, and
Hmm.
then also more new reviews, more gadgets, and of course there will still be videos or probably even live streams about those gadgets that you feel really people want more info about, like the Raspberry Pi, right? I didn't
Yeah.
even know what I thought that was a food. Actually,
It
when you
is.
were talking about that for the first time, I said Raspberry Pi. Oh, maybe that's also Patrick is now baking. So, and then I saw him do the video, and it blew up like crazy, right? That
Oh
video,
yeah.
and up to
Yeah.
now, it's still having a lot of new um what do you call this, new people wanting to watch the video.
Hmm.
So I think, as an advice, Patrick, to those who want to also go into tech and those who want to understand tech, so
Hmm.
what could be a great advice to these people, or to us?
Well, this is something I always struggle with my own mom. Is she always says it's I'm just I can't understand this. Well my advice is don't never say you can't do it. And then you just start wherever you're at, and I think technology is there to help us, and so
Mhm.
and it's really not that hard to understand if you give it some time and you know how to approach it. So that's how I like to approach my videos, is to try to explain it to not to the person who's already knows everything, but just try to
Mhm.
give it, oh, why do you need this, right? And so knowing that things will help you, I think that'll motivate you to understand it a little bit more. But don't think you have to know everything at once. So I would say just start with baby steps first as far as technology. And technology is everywhere around us. And so I think we were talking about this before the show started. Like tech technology is everywhere, and so it's really there to help enhance our life. Uh,
Mhm.
as I talked about, like even this blower here, it's not a very high tech thing, but it's just so useful. And I have a bigger version of the for my yard. I have a leaf blower, and it's a leaf
Oh
blower is
yeah.
just like it's a very simple thing, but oh, it makes my life so much easier to have not have just have my own. It's a battery powered one, and so just these little things. Tech shouldn't be. Don't look at you look at, oh, don't look at the spaceship. Look at the little thing in front of you first, and just take baby steps, step by step, as far as tech is concerned. So,
Yes, that's
yeah.
awesome, right? And when push comes to shove, you really cannot understand. how to navigate things, how to make things work, there's always YouTube and there's always everyday tech, right? So if you really want help, right? So you can message him, you can email him. Okay, hold on. If I am not sure if I can do this, I will try to do this on the fly. Okay, guys, but here it is. Sorry. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's everyday tech for everyday people. Okay, so that's
Hmm.
website. The website, right, Patrick?
Yeah, that'll just take you
That's
right to my YouTube channel. But yeah.
okay. To the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. So that's everydaytech.tv. Or you can
Yep.
actually go to Patrick's YouTube channel, Everyday Tech. Right? So it's
Hmm.
also on the description. The link is in the description down below. All right. So I know that you guys like, what are the other everyday things or everyday tech that can resonate with us? So head on to his channel, especially during the holidays, binge watch, right? Binge watch. And then if you like feel that you want to ask something, just put it on the comments. He checks his comments all the time. All right. Yes,
Hmm.
nag-blackout, Tina. It wasn't really a blackout. I just created a new scene on the fly and just added. So sometimes we try to do that, right? All the time. It doesn't matter. Okay, I guess I forgot to actually include that in, the creation of my scenes for today, but I still wanted to show that. So I did that. So sorry about that, Tina. She thought it was a blackout. Again, Patrick, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we'll look forward to many, many more of your amazing reviews, live streams, and what have yous, and other collaborations, right?
Yeah.
So, and hopefully we can have you back with that amazing, amazing, tool of yours. Okay, and have you do something like a specific project in the future, right? When you are not
Yes.
so busy, right? I know you're very busy, but we make things happen, right? We just have to like, okay,
Yes.
let's find a perfect day and time. Sometimes it gets moved, but oftentimes we can still do it. All right. Okay, with that, thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This is Vlogmas Day 12. If you missed it or your friends missed it, please share this stream so they can also watch this one. Okay, with that, thank you. So happy Merry Christmas to you, Patrick. And
Thank you.
bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again this morning for Vlogmas Day 12. See you again tomorrow. And tomorrow we're gonna be with Roy, Talk Tech Troublemaker. With that, thank you so much and see you tomorrow. Bye.